Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I know it's been probably a couple of years since I've done a video, but I'm kind of changing the way that I'm doing things here, and I thought maybe it's time to start doing some videos again. Um, at the time, back when I was doing videos before, I was just trading. I was basically just buying options, buying calls and puts. I have now changed that up, and now I'm pretty much just selling options. I'm also trading futures, but that's a different story. I probably won't do any videos or very few on the futures trading, but um, but I just wanted to be completely transparent. I've been watching videos on this, a lot of videos on selling options, and most of the people that do show their accounts, they have, hundreds of thousands of dollars or over $1 million, and it's just not relatable to regular people like me and most of you that are going to watch this. Um, I imagine most of the people that are going to watch this is going to be fairly new to trading. I'm not new to trading, but I'm fairly new to selling options. I've done it a little bit in the past, but never really did it enough to say I was very experienced at it. Um, so I thought I'm just going to come out here and I'm going to show my account, show my balance, and you can see what I have there. I'm going to also say that I'm not the best trader out there. I'm sure some of you might see something I've done and say, "Oh, that's probably not a very good move," or "That was dumb." And it might be, but overall, I'm making money. It's working for me, and I think it's very relatable to the average trader. So, just to kind of give you a little preview of what I'm going to be doing, I'm probably going to try to do one video a week. I may expand that to two. We'll see how it goes. I'll try to probably do it on a Sunday night, maybe do a recap of the week. Uh, it depends on my schedule. I work full time. I work from home, but I work full time, so I can't be on here. That's one of the reasons why I started selling options because I can't watch the charts. 8 hours a day, 6, 7 hours a day, whatever it is. So it's kind of one of those things. I enter a trade and I just let it ride out for a week, 2 weeks, a month, whatever it is, and I really don't have to babysit or to monitor it. I'll get more into the technicals of it, and I may not have the exact definitions the way that they should be said, but I'll give you. I think when I'm done, you'll be able to understand what I'm saying. But this is my account. I just opened this about 3 months ago. I've put a couple deposits in it, uh, but basically I've put roughly 11,000 in. I'm up about 2,000 on it in a couple of months. You can see daily. If you those of you that are familiar with Robinhood, you'll understand what you're looking at here. It took me a little bit to get used to it, but for the past week, um, oops, how am I going to do that? Okay, clicking on the wrong thing. All right, so you can see here that now every time I go up here, it changes the value based on the graph. So, but daily, I'm down 0.14% today. That's opening, and the only reason it is because I have 100 shares of SoFi. None of my options are going to change value till market opens tomorrow, but I have 100 shares of SoFi and they trade after hours and pre-market. So, um, but last week or for the past week, I'm up 3.9%, which is pretty good. I mean, if you that's not a typical week for me, but if you make 4% a week, that's 200% a year. Um, for the month, I'm up $46. And when I say for the month, this is 30 days. It's not from January 1st. So for 30 days, I'm up $46, 0.36%. Not great, but early December was a little bit rough. For 3 months, I'm up 14.09%, $1,607.98. Year to date, which is this year, and I'm getting these numbers up here. So look up here. Year to date, this year, I'm up $680 or 5.52%. And the past year, which would be 365 calendar days, I'm up $2,142.93 or 19.7%. Um, this to me is a more relatable figure that people are going to see. And, I've watched videos and guys are showing their $1.5 million accounts. That's not realistic to me. I can't do what they do. I can't trade what they trade. I can't, you know, can't do all the things they do. So I kind of have to pick and choose what I'm going to trade and what I'm going to do. So, and you always watch those videos and you're like, well, you can do that because you have such a large account. Well, let's see if we can do it with a smaller account. Um, like I said, I'm up 20% in about 3 months. Like I said, in 3 months here, past 3 months, I'm up 14% in 3 months. So I opened this account, I think it was early September, and I put 10,000 in. I've put about another 900 in since then. So I will be adding to it as I go. So, and I'm going to be transparent about that. If I'm not going to be dumping 5,000 at a time, but if tomorrow you see there's 18,000 in here, I'm going to let you know, hey, I put 5,000 in it. Um, I'm not going to try to say, hey, I made $5,000 overnight. So I'm not going to, not going to try to pull the wool over anybody's eyes. So anyway, this is what you're looking at. I've been trading a lot of SoFi, a little bit of VIX, Lyft, TQQQ, and for what I've been doing, I sell calls and puts. Um, if you're familiar with options trading, they say about 90% of all options contracts expire worthless. Well, for years I was playing the 10% side, and I had a lot of them expire worthless. Well, why not trade the 90% side? So I sell options, and hopefully they expire worthless when they're done. Um, when you sell a put, that gives you the right to buy that stock at the strike price. So that's how I ended up with these. I bought these at $27 a share. What I did was sold $27 puts. It closed at, I don't know, $26, and I had to pay up on them because they were 20. I had to pay 27. They were only at 26. So I was already minus 100, but I sold the put for about $100 to get that. So I was pretty much break even. In fact, it'll tell you here my break even price if I click on it. My break even price on it is, where's it at? I'm not seeing it now. Oh, that's why, because it's shares. It's not the, so I'm up to $18 on it. It's shares. It's not the options. That's why it doesn't show that. But, um, I sold SoFi puts. They expired below the strike price. So I got to buy them at that price, buy 100 shares. We have the same thing here. I have SoFi $27 puts expire January 30th. I sold those for $94, 94 cents, but in the options world, that's $94. Sold them for $94. They're currently at $1.51, so I'm down $60, $57. But you really don't lose money. If it's on a stock that you like and a stock that you don't mind buying 100 shares of, I'm not really going to lose on this because these are going to drop. If they keep dropping, the value goes up. This $1.51 continues to go up. So I sold them for what I say, 94. This might go to $2, might go to $3, but if this closes at 27.01 on January 30th, it's going to expire worthless. So I kept the whole $94. I made that whole 94. If it expires if at 26.99, I get to buy them at $27. So I really didn't lose anything because I'm buying them for $27. They're worth 27 plus I collected $94. So I made 94 on that. So in essence, you really don't lose money on it. The only time you really lose money is if you buy them and the shares start dropping and continue dropping. So that's kind of what I've been doing. Same with Lyft. If Lyft expires below $18 on February 20th, I can buy these for $18. So it'll be $1,800 to buy them. I sold them for 103. They're now at 116. I'm down $13. I sold them on January 7th, so I've had them for a few days. VIX, this one here is kind of tricky because I sold these when VIX was at like 14.50, and VIX actually went up, but the options went down. So that's kind of tricky. And these are actually calls that I want them to go up. I don't want these ones to go down. Um, but I've sold calls against them also. So if you, it's called a poor man's covered call. Technically, with Lyft, I didn't, or what was that? Was that Lyft I was looking at? No. What was I just talking about now? I don't see it on here. Oh, VIX, that's what it was, VIX. VIX, you can't buy shares. You can't buy common shares. You can only trade the options. So there is no buying the shares. So selling put strategy isn't really going to work for that. But I figured at some point in the next, before March 18th, VIX is going to spike, and I'll get out of these and make a little bit of money. I only have $400 tied up in them, so I'm willing to just sit on it. TQQQ calls. That's hard to say. So I sold the $57 calls. What this means is I want the price to drop, or not necessarily want it to drop, but I want it to close below $57 on January 16th. Right now, TQQQ is trading at 55.94. Hasn't moved a whole lot. To view the stock price, I'm not sure where I see that at. I guess there. Yeah. So you see it's been between, right there's 53.96 on that drop, and the high has been 56.01. If you go to the monthly, it hasn't been above $57 for the whole entire month. So I'm pretty confident I'm going to be able to walk away with these, collecting my whole, what was it? QQQ calls, 59 cents. So I'm confident that these will expire worthless. I'll keep the whole $59. So that's kind of what I'm, just doing a quick rundown. I'm not going to go over everything here right now. I just want to give kind of a reintroduction to me and what I've been doing, and what my videos are going to look like going down the road. And I'll get into more detail about this. What I'm doing with SoFi is I'm running what's called the wheel strategy. It's nothing I made up. I'm not going to try to take credit for making up the wheel strategy because it's been out there for a while. But you sell puts on a stock that you are interested in keeping, and that's what I did with this one. I sold puts. I was assigned the commons, so now I have 100 shares of SoFi. So now I sell calls against these, which is what these are. If this closes above $30 by the end of the day, January 16th, they can take these calls from me, these shares from me for $30 each. The good thing is I only paid $27, so I'm going to make $300 off of that, plus the premium that I received when I sold these at $51. So I'll make about $351 if they get called away. If they don't get called away, it expires below $30, I keep the whole $51. So that's kind of the magic of selling options instead of buying options. And that's kind of what this whole revitalized video series YouTube channel is going to be about. And like I said, I'll go into more detail about it. You can search other people's videos if you want more, if you don't want to wait till I do the next video. But I don't want to drag this video out to, a couple hours long or an hour long explaining this. And like I said, there's other people that can explain it a lot better than me. But basically, I want, this one here, I want it to close below $30. This one here, I want this one to close below $30 or $57. This one here, I don't really care. I'd like for it to close below 27. I'll buy another 100 shares. If it doesn't close below 27, then I get to keep the whole 94 cents, $94 I received for it when I sold them. Lyft, ideally, doesn't matter to me either way if it closed below 18. If it does close below 18, I can buy these at $18 a share. If it doesn't, I keep the whole $103 I sold them for. VIX, that's a little bit longer term hold. I'm just waiting for a VIX spike to get out of those, try to make $100, $200. The SoFi calls, I bought $25 calls, and this is part of the whole thing of starting, um, not starting the wheel strategy, but it's like the middle part of the strategy. I own the $25 calls. This is what you call poor man's covered calls. Uh, I'll go ahead and explain this. These are December 18th expiration, so I have almost 1 year on these. I buy the $25 calls. At the time, I didn't own these shares. So I bought these calls. I paid, what did I pay? $775 for them. So I paid $775 for $25 calls. These are in the money calls. And what I want to look for is a delta of about 70 to 80. It's at 69 right now. Look for a delta of at least 70. That means there's roughly a 70% chance that this trade will work out. That SoFi will close above $25 by December 18th of 2026. So I bought the calls, and then I go turn around and sell calls against them, which is what I believe these ones are off of. These ones are off of my shares, and these ones are off of this call here. Lyft, I want Lyft to close. It doesn't matter if it closes below 18, I can buy them at 18. If it's closed above 18, I kept all the money I made on the sell. VIX, SoFi, TQQQ. This is another one of the poor man's cover calls. I bought $50 calls, one contract, expired January 15th, 2027, so I have just over a year on these. And then I turn around and I sell $57 call against it. If by January 15th, 2027, TQQQ is above $50, then I have to sell these at $50. That's fine, because they'll be worth a lot more. I collected premium on them up here by selling these calls. I collected $59 on them, and if it goes up to $57, these were like 54 when I bought them. So break even price 67. You can't really go on that. But I'm down 135, but I'm not worried about that. The one big important thing is you make sure you buy enough time. So that's going to be it for this video. I already went past. I was trying to stay like 10, 12 minutes. I already went past that. But look for more videos from me. I'll try to go in a little bit more detail. I'm not going to do any real-time alerts. That's not what this is about. You're going to get one video a week for now. Maybe bump that up to 2 later on. If anybody has any questions, put it in the comments, and that I can create another video to answer your questions if I can't answer it in the chat section. So yeah, follow along. I think it's going to be exciting. You hear these guys with the $200,000 accounts talking about when they started out with 10,000, but you never see it. Well, here we go. Let's see if we can get this up over. My first goal is 25,000. After that, go 50 and then 100. Let's see. I'm confident I can do it. I've been doing this long enough. I have the discipline. I might not take the best choices, make the best choices for my trades, but I'm confident the trades I make will make me money. I'm probably looking at about a 75 to 80% win rate so far doing this. I don't know what all I can see down here. As far as history, I guess doesn't really show that. But anyway, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, ask questions, and maybe because it's the first one and it's kind of 10,000 foot view, maybe I'll try to make one during the middle of the week, kind of filling in some of the gaps. And I'm sure I'll go back and watch this and see where I missed some things that I should have mentioned. So maybe I'll make one during the middle of the week, and then maybe try to do them on Sunday nights. Just do like a weekly recap or something. So, all right. Thanks, everyone, for watching. And comment if you have any questions. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you later. Thanks for watching. Bye.